Life isn't about how many people like you, how many people agree with you, or really anything of that nature. It's about how you feel, the decisions you make, and how happy or fulfilled you are with your own life at the end of the day. Basing those thoughts or your own decisions off of what other people think, that's gonna hold you back so much and make you second guess everything you do. Finding friends or people to join you along this journey, it's not meant to be hard. The right people will find you, or you'll find the right people, one way or another. People align with like-minded people who have the same values as them, especially people who are looking to accomplish something in their lives. Work hard, be creative, play sports. You're gonna find people who are like-minded to you along your own journey. The more you hold yourself back, trying to associate with people who really have no similar interests or benefit to your own life, you're just holding yourself back. Got ants crawling all over me. It's a beautiful day out in the sun. I was just about to go for a run, but I've been thinking about this for quite a while, especially a lot today. Just the more you base your own actions, thoughts, decisions on what other people may be thinking, the more you hold yourself back. And may is a key word in that sentence. The amount of times you actually know what somebody's thinking, like know what they're thinking, not just you're pretty sure or somebody told you they might think that, like being 100% certain of someone else's thoughts, that's like 99% of the time, that's never going to happen. You can't read other people's minds, and unless you have a real human conversation with the person, you're never gonna know what they're thinking. And if you were to just sit down or stand, whatever you wanna do, and just talk to that person, you'd probably absolve every issue that you're thinking of. That conversation, sitting down, being willing to put ourselves out there, be vulnerable, let somebody else know how we're feeling without any certainty of how they feel, that can take a lot for people. And even me speaking like this now, it takes a lot, and I have to thoroughly think about it every single time, push myself. Just remember that if I don't do this, how am I supposed to know what somebody's truly thinking? Being open, not only with ourselves, but with the people around us, that's how we can move forward in life indefinitely. If you feel stuck, or you feel that you're always second-guessing your decisions, look at the people that you're surrounding yourself with. Do you have supportive family, supportive friends, even coworkers that you can talk to about work or your own ideas? Who are you surrounding yourself with? Now, I want to talk about something, but first I need to preface. If you are not a decent person, you don't have thoughts of other people's emotions when you convey yourself and do things day to day, this isn't gonna really apply. You need to be living your life, second guessing yourself, but in the right way. You can't just think you're impervious and you can do no wrong, because that's not true. All of us, with all of our actions, although it's important to make our own decisions, we impact everybody around us. So just at the baseline of who we are, try and be a decent person. That's all anybody can really ask, right? If you're a decent person, you try your best, you don't always have to go out of your way to do things for other people or make yourself available. But if somebody comes to you or you see availability to help, just help. Put yourself out there. These things come back in return almost always. And if they don't, at least you can get the satisfaction of knowing you did something good. So now, in saying that, the right people are going to find you. And if somebody doesn't like you, or they don't feel you're doing enough or living the right way, they're not meant for your journey whatsoever. They're only gonna hold you back. Now remember, this only applies if you know in your heart you're a decent person and you try your best. If you don't know that, maybe do a little bit more second guessing, but don't worry about what everybody else thinks. Worry about how you think of yourself. If you can't think of yourself from third person perspective and genuinely look at the good things you do, the people you help, or at least the efforts you make, well, that's not good. And now, before we go too far down that rabbit hole, I'm not talking about any narcissistic traits or things like that, because you can spiral too far in that direction and view yourself too highly. It's not about viewing yourself above others. It's just knowing you're a good person and you're doing your best. Being a good person doesn't mean you're better than somebody else. You're good. You're on a baseline. You're with everybody else on this earth. Now, if somebody else isn't a good person, well, that's on them, and that's gonna come back around with how people treat them, how the world treats them, everything. So just remember, as long as you're good, good things most likely and most often will happen to you. So now, how do you deal with people that you've just had in your life forever, or you felt were so close to you, and either you've just grown in different directions, or maybe you guys never were really similar and they're just in your life? Sometimes this is a family member, whether it's a cousin, even brother, sister, or it's close friends. It can be extremely hard, emotionally, even physically, like if you have to see the person every day, it's hard to cut that person off or take them out of your life, because it feels like that's what you need to do, right? You need to take them out of your life so you can live better. Well, that's not always the case, and sometimes, as much as we may, as much as we may wish to just remove somebody from our lives entirely, that isn't the right choice, not the right answer. It's actually going to impact us negatively a lot of times. The connections that we can keep throughout our lives are what will keep us alive. Say you know somebody who repairs this or can get you a good deal on that. Well, if you cut them off fully, they can't do that anymore. The connections that you make throughout your lives and the people that you can kind of have at your fingertips. Oh, I know a guy, I'll call them. That's going to build up so much business relationships, social relationships, connections. It's what life's about. And sometimes just cutting somebody off because they don't feel beneficial to your life, well, it's not good. That's not going to impact your life positively in the future. That's something that I've learned after a great deal of experience doing this. It's so easy in today's social world where the block button is just 2 clicks away, or you can just delete a message and pretend like you never saw it. But life shouldn't be that simple. We shouldn't be able to avoid social contact that easily. It gives us this easy out in our brains where if we don't like somebody or we don't appreciate the way they're talking to us just in this certain moment, blocked, gone. We just remove any sort of conflict from our lives, making it just so much easier. Now, this may sound contradictory to what I said at the start of the video, not worrying about what anybody thinks. Live your own life, completely separate. But a life separate from everyone is still in contact with many. You have to do so much in your life, and unless you're able to completely live off the land and be your own person, which you probably aren't if you're on YouTube right now, let's be honest, then you still have lots of need for social contact in your life. So not worrying about what other people think, it's a mental battle in here, and you need to first analyze what people think, realize why it doesn't matter to you, and then move on from there. To be a growing human, to be somebody who can become better all the time and not just stay stagnant, you need to be able to self-analyze. It's not always about what other people think, but it's about what they can teach you to think. See, you can have the exact same thought someone else is having, but in a more constructive way. Say somebody doesn't think you're a very hard worker or you're not very efficient at a certain task. Well, don't worry so much about how they feel. They're going to live their own life, and so long as you're not affecting their work life poorly, you're making their life harder, then who cares, right? You're living, you're working. But take that, compartmentalize it, and try and improve that. But just do it on your own terms. Don't worry about what they're saying. They're chirping in your ear all the time at work, telling you you're not good enough. Well, maybe you genuinely aren't as good as you could be at your job. Try to be a little bit better. Find the areas that you maybe underperform in and work on them in your own time. But Don't go home and think, oh man, Joe doesn't like me. I can't believe he said I don't work hard enough. Man, Joe doesn't know. I'm gonna work even. Like, who cares what Joe thinks? Well, you should care what you think. Now, if you can self-analyze through that, realize you're not a hard enough worker, don't sit there and beat yourself up about it. Take that, turn it positively and think, okay, well, I'm gonna get better. And people are gonna see that. They're gonna think, wow, he really turned himself around. And you're gonna be surprised the outreach and the probably connections you can rekindle through just doing that. Whether it's with sports and you're maybe not performing as well as you could on your team, and maybe some of your teammates are starting to notice and say some stuff. Well, put in the work, go home, start working out, eat better. Like, just put the effort, care about that game, think about it beforehand. Just think, I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best today. And you're gonna be surprised how much it turns around. But if you're going to each game thinking, oh, my team doesn't think I'm trying hard enough. Oh my goodness, I hope my team likes me. Like, what good is that gonna do? That's not putting you in the right mindset, which I talked about in the last video. Make sure you go check that out. That's not propelling you forward. That's not putting you in a constructive headspace. That's doing nothing for you. So yeah, to get back on topic a little bit, we have so many options in our own life. Like I've talked about before, we have agency over every choice, every decision. When we wake up in the morning, we decide whether we're getting out of the bed on the right side or maybe on the wall, maybe at the end of the bed. You decide every single thing you do in life. So don't go to sleep upset with certain decisions because you let somebody tip the scales and get in your head, because other people's thoughts belong in their head. Your thoughts belong in your head. So just remember that. And when you should always be self-analyzing your thoughts. When you catch yourself on a train of thought that's maybe been going for a little bit too long, stop yourself. Think, what started that train of thought? What am I thinking about right now? And is it constructive? A lot of times, especially when you catch yourself spiraling, you're not thinking about anything constructive. You're probably going over past situations. And the past, that belongs in the past. We can never, ever go backwards. We can only go forward. So don't worry about how to fix what's in the past. Worry about how you can worry about how you can fix yourself going forward. I have a really good quote written in my notes app about that. I wish I could remember it right now, but it's the way things go sometimes. Just too many thoughts on the brain. And you know what? Sometimes that's not bad. The more thinking we're doing as people, the better, as long as it's constructive. It's really just a very basic checklist. When you have thoughts and you're going through your own head, you're recounting your day, go through your checklist. Was I thinking of things that were constructive? Did I have a positive mindset? Am I looking at the past? Am I feeling fulfilled with the changes that I'm making in my day? These little things, if you can just even do 1, 2 of them every single day, you're going to be amazed, absolutely amazed with the changes that you make mentally. No longer worrying about what so-and-so is gonna think of you the next day at work or at school, on the team. You're worried about becoming better, being happy, feeling fulfilled, and living life. Because at the end of the day, the whole point of life is what we're living. So each and every single day, you've checked off a box in life. You're living. So make sure every box you check is a happy one, or at least in the right direction to your goals in life. I think that's all I have for you guys today. Now that it's getting into summer, the beautiful weather, make sure you get outside, enjoy some fresh air, get active. These things make life so much more enjoyable, so much better. The little things that we have in life to enjoy, they elevate this experience so much more. We're surrounded with the same things every single day. No matter what we may consume media-wise, it's gonna be a different video every single time, and our sensations are gonna be fulfilled in a different way. But it's all the same. We're sitting down, we're watching content on our phone or our computer, TV. It's all just a magical box stealing our attention away. Go out, do something different. Improve your body, improve your mind. These are things that deteriorate and we won't have them forever. These screens, they're gonna be around forever, unfortunately, and they're gonna be embedded in our eyes soon enough, so frig. Just stop looking at it for at least a little bit. I'm gonna go for my run now. Enjoy the rest of my evening. Hope you guys do too. Take care.